Welcome to Around the Farm. I'm Steve Greggerson here with Site Director Andy Hite, and we're going to take you around the farm this morning and give you kind of an update on what's happening out here.
And you know, we're transitioning now into fall. School group season is going to be starting, but we thought today we're down here along the canal on the towpath. We've never been down here. We've been a lot of other places. Our director and cinematographer came in this morning and said, hey, let's do that. And
oh, you forgot All Around Nice Guy.
And All Around Nice Guy.
Can't leave that part of his title
out.
He
said, let's do this today. And I said, okay. Reason we came down today is, you know, we've talked about the new room that's been a part of the museum this year. We've filmed in the museum. We've shown pictures of it being constructed. So we thought today, Joe had the wonderful idea, and I do like the idea because people have not been able to see the museum from the outside. And this is the view that people get as they're riding. Boy, I'm glad I didn't back up any further. This is a view that people get when they're riding on the canal boat. You know, it's as nice a view from the outside, I think, as it is from the inside.
It is. It's you know, and the neat thing, I look at it too, and you think, well, that's where Fort Piqua once stood, and it's still, you get that resemblance of, you know, it's got that flavor of being historical yet. So, you know,
so you know, and it's obviously it's a great view, a better view in the spring and the fall when the leaves are off the trees, both ways, looking up and looking down. But it's been a great addition, and you know, we you know, again, just thank people so much for their support for making this happen. We couldn't have done it without the local support. We're going to do some work on the bank this fall. I think we want to clear off some of the things because underneath some of the brush are some heirloom plants, some historically correct plants for the area. We've got a chestnut tree in there.
Ooh.
So, you know, there's lots of things that we're going to work on. We still have some things to do over the course of the winter. So, you know, that's what we're looking at. We're also looking at this winter. In fact, we're going to start talking about it today. We're going to do some reconfiguring with some of the exhibits in the museum. In the Piqua room, people, if they've been there, they know we got this big timeline in the back. We're going to take that out of that room and move it over to where your old canal room was.
Okay. Because
it does fit back there.
Right.
There's enough space. And the reason we're going to do that is then we've got the rest of that room because that diorama shows from the beginnings of occupation in Ohio basically to the removal period, to the 1840s. And what we're going to do now, I've got commitments now from the Miami, the Eastern Shawnee, and the Wyandotte over the next 3 summers. They're going to tell their story from removal to the present. Okay. So each year we'll have a different story being told, and then we want to continue that with all 6 of the Ohio tribes to tell what happened after removal, because I think sometimes we talk about up to removal, and I think sometimes people think that means the native presence never exists in Ohio anymore. And that's not true. So we want to tell that story because it's a neat story to tell, and it's a story that, as far as I can tell, hasn't been told anyplace else you know, around in Ohio. So, you know, those are some things we're going to be working on. I'm going to start that today.
That's neat.
So when people come in next spring, there'll be some new exhibits on the inside again. So
good.
We can, and we did, if people haven't been there, I finally got my wicket gate.
Yes, we hauled that back from Toledo.
And that was one of those things, just happened to be in the right place at the right time and had the right conversation. And so, we're glad to have that. That really, when you think about canal artifacts, when you put everything together we have in that room, there's, you know, just about everything that you could possibly, you know, want to help interpret the canal story. So that's what's going on up there. We've used the room now. We had our evening on the canal. We had about 60 people in there for dinner. That worked out very well.
It did. It was well put together, and everything worked out nicely. Food was good.
Food was good, and if you went away hungry, it was your own fault.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
And then last weekend, we had a retirement party in there. We had 82 people.
I didn't realize that many people in there that evening. Wow.
You know, we know that works too. So, you know, that gives people an idea that here you've got this room that's plenty of space. So, up to 80 people. And not only did we have 80 people there, we also had a buffet line.
Right.
So people had lots of food last weekend too.
And it was good too.
Mm-hmm. So, that's available now. If people are interested in looking for a venue for, a meeting or, a party of some sort, think about the Johnston Farm. Think about our new space out here. There's no place else in Ohio where you can get this view that you've got there.
Even a small wedding reception or something. I mean, what a nice place to do it, and the view is beautiful. You get a lot of good pictures out here, and just a very comfortable place to be is the nice thing.
The room really works the way that we envisioned it would when we started this project. And I don't know whether when you do these sort of projects, whether you always turn out with what you thought you were going to turn out with, but I think we did.
Yes, it's really worked out well.
So that's a little bit, we won't belabor that anymore, but that's, you can see the room over our shoulder today, and
right.
They've seen inside. So we thought we'd show them the outside today.
Good idea.
Okay, well, we've transitioned, as I said earlier, we've transitioned into fall now. We'll be starting school groups. Some other big events besides this. You were there. We've did it. Lock 1 up at Lockington is completed now, and I think if people go up, they're going to be surprised when they see what it looks like to get an idea.
Beautiful up. They did a wonderful job of getting that all back together.
Yeah,
and
you think
really
about
give you
taking it down stone at a time, stacking the stones away from the lock. Then when they came back, they all fit back together. Darndest thing. But it does give people a really good look. I think even the depth of the lock now is much more apparent than it was before. And so it's going to give people a good look. And hopefully as funding becomes available, we've got some ideas for some other projects to try to continue that there, because there's no place else really in Ohio where you get a staircase like that's that really accessible to the public. And, and so we're looking forward to continuing that. As again, it's a funding issue like everything, like so many other projects, but we want to continue that and give people a really good look at what those locks would have looked like. So that's completed. People take a drive up, they can see Lock 1. We'd encourage that. And
it's worth a look. I mean, if you've got any interest in the canal at all, it's certainly
it sure is. And
a major part of what was there. And I still scratch my head thinking those things were all placed by hand and very rudimentary tools and.
Ooh, rudimentary.
How about that for that's
a big word. I'm impressed.
I don't know where I came up with that. Just kind of.
And it was used properly.
Yeah, that's a good part.
I'm good for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've been around Oda or something for a while.
I think it's rubbing off.
He uses those kind of words.
I was down doing some research in the local history room and happened to run into him, and I think that's what kicked it off.
That's what did it. Well, I don't know what to tell you, but you have that happen when
you get around him and it starts those words start jumping out.
I'm impressed, and I'm sure Jim would be too, and it's that influence just carries over.
It does. You can't get rid of it, and once it's there, it's forever.
That's why I told our new teachers last night. I told they survived Jim Oda one morning, and then me the next morning, and they still came back. I can't understand that. So, well, we digressed again.
We did.
But I guess that
it's okay.
Sometimes. It was at Jim's expense, so it was worthwhile.
That's true.
Fall.
Yes, it's going to be approaching us quick, isn't it?
Yes, it is. We've got a week where we kind of transition the site now. We finish the end of August. We finish our public visitation, and then we transition and get ready for school groups. So we've got about a week before we start seeing the yellow troop carriers, as you refer to them.
Yes.
Coming in, and we'll be busy. You're going to be back at it after the summer off. We'll get you back in the saddle, so to speak.
Oh, I'm ready, because that new room up there, the kids were so cramped and crunched in that you couldn't really move around much. But now we we're able to move around, show them lots of good stuff, and really tell the canal story.
And we get another fall, another season of the teachers coming in for the first time, having not seen the room before.
Right.
And we'll get the question we always got in the spring is, well, where's the patio? Where are we going to eat lunch?
Yeah, that does kind of mess up some minds there, so to speak, but that's okay. That'll be good because...
And so, we'll be September and October, Monday through Friday. We've got school groups just about every day. We've got a few holes yet if anybody's interested, but we're going to be busy with school groups. And then in October, I think it's October 11th, is our fall event. We're looking forward to that. We're going to do a couple things. We're going to add a couple things this year. Hopefully working on, we're going to do, as well as the fall things like we've done before, the hay ride and the boat rides on, and hopefully we'll have some color on the towpath this year. We didn't last year much.
Well, it should be a good day. That's about right from what you usually can predict.
Well, it should be. When I was in Newark, I used to plan winter events when you should have snow. That often didn't work either. So anyway, we'll be doing our hay ride. We'll be doing our canal boat rides. Something we're going to add this year is artifact identification. We haven't done that for a long time. And so Bill Pickard, one of the archaeologists from Columbus, is going to spend the day with us. He'll be set up in our new room, and we'll encourage folks to bring in maybe a part of their collection or a piece that they really think is neat. And Bill can spend some time sharing some information about what they have, about the age of the piece, perhaps, things like that. And we're going to extend an invitation to some of our local collectors that day. We'd like for them to bring out, parts of their collection if they'd like to, just to have them on exhibit so people can see, the wealth of relics of the various native cultures that have come from this area.
And there's some really fine collections around the area that it would be great to have some of the stuff here and just look at it.
And you get that when you get into an agricultural area, where the fields have been tilled through time, and you start to see some really neat pieces turn up. And so hopefully we'll have that. We're looking at trying to do some other sorts of farm-related activities that people would have been doing in the fall. So, and that'll be the 11th of October. We'll be open at least at noon. We're playing with the idea of maybe going ahead and opening at 10 that day. We'll expand our day a little bit. Give us the opportunity to maybe do a couple other activities in the course of that day for us. So that'll be October 11th, and that's our last hurrah of the year for a weekend event. So we're looking forward to that, and hope the weather is cooperative for us.
Keep our fingers crossed, because that's always a good day. That's always a nice day, and just a good way
Aiden loves the hay ride.
Oh yeah, he of course now he'll worry about the old canal boat again. He keeps wondering, did Andy get the old boat fixed yet? So
no, the old boat's not fixed. It's just kind of like the old gray mare. So that'll be October 11th. At least noon to 5, if not 10 to 5.
Okay.
We're still thinking about that. We'll let people know as we get closer to that. Listen to the radio. If they're used to listening to 106.5, we'll have information on there. Actually, starting pretty quickly. Won't be long. And then something else that it won't be long for is our Christmas event.
Yep. That's
December 6th is our Christmas on the farm. We're going to do, I think, the plans are right now is we're going to do our murder mystery again.
All right, that was fun.
So we're going to kill Scrooge 3 times.
That was fun.
It's interesting. We kill Scrooge 3 times, and we always have 3 different people do it. I don't know how that happens, but it's fall.
Fall, yes. The leaves are coming down now,
yes.
So that's good. Yeah, Christmas that's a great event.
It's a lot of fun. I think last year we had just a little bit of snow, and so we'll be doing again like we've done in the past. We'll be doing a dinner at 1, 4, and 7. And reservations, we've already had some reservations. So if people want a reservation for Christmas, which includes a dinner in Johnston's dining room, you know, an evening of fine theatrical
outstanding
efforts. The thespians are just prolific that night.
That's true.
It's
Are you talking about Mr. Oda again?
Could be.
Okay.
We could have Mr. Oda back, and you know, if Mr. Oda's back, you know, we'll want people to pay attention to his bright green socks that he always wears with his costume. That's one of his trademarks.
That's true.
Our bright green socks, and
they aren't electric green, are they, or just bright?
Kind of snot green.
Snot green. Okay. Well, I was wondering that. You know, I wanted everybody to notice those, and you know, and if they were electric, they'd just be standing out. But if they were,
that would be shocking.
That's true. That if they're snot green, you just have to kind of look for them and make sure you catch them.
That's kind of slippery. You know, they just kind of slide by.
Ooh, bad.
You know, you get what you pay for. It's early in the morning.
That's true.
What do they want? But you know, that's coming. You know, we do have, you know, people have begun to make reservations for that. And then call out here to the museum, 773-2522. We'll be happy to do reservations, because each seating, we limit it to 25 people, because, well, that's all the seats we have in the dining room for one thing. And it gets crowded if we do more, and nobody has a good time when we do it that way. So it's a once-a-year sort of event, just like our evening on the canal. So, you know, we encourage people, invite people if they want to come out to become a part of that. Of course, then, you know, we finish that, and we'll be looking at getting ready then for April when school groups start again.
Yep.
So, you know, one of the misconceptions, I think, is that, you know, winter shows up and we don't have anything to do. Well, we've got lots to do in the museum this winter. We do some maintenance projects that we don't have time to do otherwise. So, you know, we're busy. It's a different kind of busy, but lots to do in the winter as well. So that was, I think we pretty much, it's a great view down here today.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
This is really nice. It's peaceful, except for the trucks running down the other side of the river. And
occasional geese screaming, but...
well, and that's okay as long as we don't look up with our mouth open.
Well, that's true. That's true. Ooh, again, another thing you want to get out of your brain quick.
You know, if we can't have fun,
that's true.
What's the purpose of doing this?
That's true. That's true.
People probably say, what are those guys doing? We don't know.
We don't know. We just kind of, Joe sets up the camera and we take off.
We stand here in front of it and talk until Joe tells us it's time to stop. And I think he's telling us that now.
I think so. From what the looks are, I think he's probably telling us that we need to shut up and move on to something else.
You know, I think we've had I think a pretty good summer. We've been busy all summer. Had lots of interesting visitors this summer. You know, lots of neat conversations with people. And you know, it's a different kind of busy from spring and fall with the school groups, and it is fun. You know?
Right.
It's a lot. It's very enjoyable.
Well, you know, the evening on the canal, there were 4 ladies from the
Eastern
Shawnee Nation, and they were interesting to talk to. I enjoyed talking to those ladies. It was funny. The one lady was saying something about being from Louisiana, and the guy kind of across from her on the boat said, "Louisiana, what part?" Well, she says whatever it was, and he said, "Well, I lived in such and such." And she said, "What's your name?" And then they got comparing that she knew his uncles and aunts, and they spent the rest of the evening going up and down the canal talking about Louisiana. And I thought, but you know, they were real interesting what their mission was and what they were doing.
It's interesting as you talk to people long enough, you start to make, you know, connections with folks, and it's fun to do that.
Right, it is.
Well, every once in a while, I'll end conversations by I'll get to a conversation or make a connection with somebody from the southeastern part of the state or from the Newark area, and then it kind of surprises them when somebody here asks them about, you know, like, you're from Louisiana, you know. Yeah. Just
you know, the world gets smaller and smaller, I guess, is the thing that it's interesting how we're all connected to each other and stuff. So. But those ladies were on a real mission as far as
and they
researching
were, because one
and
of the things that I found, because I got to spend some time with them the next day.
Okay.
And they were here really, they were on a mission, and they've got a lot of interest in Johnston. because of the agency here, and also because of the agency, his little sub-agency in Wapak. They were interested in that relationship between the Shawnee and the Quakers that were here because of John's wife Rachel.
Right.
You know, that's an area of interest. They were also very interested in the events over Fall Creek in Indiana, with the events the things that were associated with that event, and they were really interested when we told them about the video that we had worked on this spring that's going to talk about Johnston, the Fall Creek massacre, and those things. They were real interested in that. And the other thing that I got them interested in was the Council of Piqua. And so, you know, they've got lots of things they're going to be looking at now.
Good.
So you're right, they were on a mission. And one of the things that one of them said, and I don't remember which one it was, you know, the comment was, well, why has this guy never been recognized for the things that he did? So, you know, hopefully these sorts of events will start to make people outside of the Piqua area a little more aware of John Johnston.
Yeah, he's really not even hardly a footnote in history in a lot of things that are said and done. That
well, when you and I taught history back in
a couple years ago,
John Johnston was never mentioned.
No, that's sad.
Yeah, you know, the events that happened here. You know, in one Ohio history text that I used, Piqua only got about 3 lines.
Right.
And then it wasn't right, but so these sorts of things, you know, really help to spread the word about this fella, about the place, about the things that happened here. So yeah, they were really interesting. We had a good visit the next day.
That's neat.
So you know, and you get those sorts of folks coming in. Had a conversation this morning with a fellow that's involved with writing a tour book about the Buckeye Trail. So he was calling. We were talking about Lockington. We were talking about Loramie Mill, and you know those things that happened around here that a lot of people outside our area never get to experience. So, you know, it's fun to make those kind of connections and conversations. So.
It is.
And you know, we'll invite people to come out to the October event, October 11th. December 6th, evening on the canal.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
not on December.
Might be a little chilly that night, but
let's try Christmas on the farm.
That would work better.
That would be better, wouldn't it?
Well, you know, we've got the stove back there in the captain's quarters on the canal boat. We could fire that up and do a little canal boat ride that night and break the ice on the canal and stuff. That'd be okay.
I'll let you and Mindy do that.
Montana and Kit probably wouldn't be real appreciative.
Probably not. No. No, I'd like to see that.
Yeah, that'd be a little cool that evening, especially.
Well,
you know, I asked for snow last year and we got a little bit, and of course we got a lot over the winter. But I don't know whether it's asked for it this year or not.
And two people so far have said, you know, after we've done the dinners up there, so why don't you do your Christmas dinner down here, and then go to the farmhouse? I said, okay, how are we going to get people? So,
and if you get a good snow, where are you going to put people? And,
yeah. I don't think that'll happen. I think
that could get a little crazy.
We've got the logistics of that worked out. So, anyway, I think we've probably pretty well, amazed and amused our viewers, and we do thank people that watch us every month. It's amazing to me how many people will comment that they've seen our show. And we're glad, you know, because we do hope people start to understand all that goes on out here. You know, we're not just a site that's here for school kids. We're not just a site that's here for 1 or 2 events over the course of the season. Right. You know, we're here year round, and we do outreach to places over the winter, and do programs around different places. So, you know, we want people to realize that we are really an active part of the Piqua community. So.
Definitely.
I think we've been around the farm today.
I think we have too. We'd like to recognize our wonderful director, producer, videographer,
and boss,
cinematographer, and boss, location director, logistics operator, and all-around nice guy.
Yep.
Joe Teach. We appreciate his efforts and all his hard work.
And it's amazing when you think about, Joe and I have talked about this before, how many years we've been doing this now, month in and month out. But it's a little tough to find locations sometimes. So, and we found a new one today.
Yes, it's a good one. I like this place. This is neat.